I've been working in the breastfeeding field now for over 40 years, and during that time I've spoken to many thousands of mothers and worked with them and their babies. Professionally, that's been more than 27 years now in the breastfeeding field as a lactation consultant. And during that time I've had the opportunity to take many photographs of women's situations and to hear the end of the story with a lot of those situations as well. And I felt very strongly that since we've still got so little really good, coherent information about other really good ways of dealing with what I feel fundamentally are often quite simple breastfeeding situations, that it was important to put a lot of that information together in books. So my first book is Breastfeeding Works, Even with Allergies. It covers subject matter that really is not well dealt with otherwise. Anything to do with breastfeeding tends to be on the bottom of the heap anyway, when it comes to finding people who can really help you with your particular issue and your particular baby. And that's the importance of the work that people like I do. And I discovered how important breastfeeding was as part of children's health and mothers' health. And I also discovered how important that was emotionally for building relationships between yourself and your children. When we start talking about breastfeeding, you get enough blank looks anyway, and you get enough very poor information. But when you add the subject of allergies to breastfeeding, that really is like well past the point of no return with a lot of people's knowledge. So just to illustrate that point, I can say it's surprising to me, in fact astounding, just how far some parents have been prepared to travel with their babies and young children to see me to get help with breastfeeding issues related to food allergy and their children. And that tells me that the help that they have needed has simply not been available to them where they live, even though they may live in cities with plenty of health professionals. So that's the really surprising thing from my point of view, and so that's been a big motivation for making sure that I put this material together in the hope that in the future a lot more people are going to understand the subject matter of breastfeeding in an allergy context, both from the mother's point of view and from the baby's point of view. So I want to see that dealt with much better in the future than what it is now. And particularly since these days the whole subject of food allergy in particular is an expanding issue in Western countries, and Australia has become the #1 top allergic nation on the planet. At the moment you can buy copies in digital form of my book Breastfeeding Works, Even with Allergies, from my website, which is breastfeedingworks.com.au. So Breastfeeding Works, all lowercase. And you will also find hard copies available on the net from Amazon and a few other different sites on the net. But if you want to ask me directly, then my website has got the means for you to email me, and there's other contact details on my website.